Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next anime top 10 list. Today we will be doing the top 10 smartest anime characters. Now, I first want to say that this was a very difficult video to make. I mean, I had a hard time coming up with a list. There's just so many smart anime characters out there. It was really hard to narrow it down to the top 10 smartest, and even then, to put them in any particular order. It was just really hard to do. I really had to think about it a lot, and even I really didn't even like having to put a lot of these people in the spots I did, but there's just no way around it. So, just want to clear that up real quick, because there's a lot of characters I really like that didn't make the list or are really low on the list. So, yeah, just want to get that out there. Now, first off is Shikamaru Nara from Naruto. Yes, at number 10. I know, he's one of my favorite characters. I love the guy. He's a genius. But there's just a lot of other smart guys out there. And he hasn't done a lot to really prove his intellect. He's beaten a couple of guys in battles of wits. I mean, he took down Hidan with pure intellect alone. But beyond that, he really hasn't shown what his intellect's capable of, and that's why I had to put him as low as I did, because yeah, he hasn't really shown what he's capable of with his intellect, beyond just a couple of little things. The other characters have shown much greater use of their intellect. The next, from Soul Eater, Frankie Stein, or Professor Stein. Yes. Um, yeah, he's a really smart guy. I mean, he's the greatest Meister the Academy's ever known. Smart guy. He's really smart. In addition, he helped orchestrate the plans for battle against Medusa and, to some extent, arachnophobia. He helped that. So, because of that, I had to put him a little bit higher, because he did pull that stuff off. Now, number 8. Soisuke Aizen. Yes, the traitorous captain of the Soul Society on Bleach. Well, he perfected the Hogyoku. He came up with a battle strategy for attacking the captains of the Soul Society. He came up with a lot of stuff. Now, in the end, he ended up losing, which is why he's only at number 8. But he's still, uh, he's still incredibly smart. So I had to put him at number 8. Number 7, also from Bleach, Kisuke Urahara. Now, he was the original creator of the Hogyoku. He helped organize the Soul Society in countering Aizen's strategy. He ended up, with the help of Ichigo, taking Aizen down. So, yeah, Urahara definitely smarter than Aizen. He took him down with his intellect in the end. So, I had to put him at number 7 for that. Now, number 6, Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. Very smart guy. I know he's only number 6, but there's a lot of other smart guys out there. He's also in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, depending on which one you're watching, which one you watched, you could have a whole different outtake on what he's accomplished. But he's one of the smartest alchemists. He figures out the secret to human transmutation from, to the Philosopher's Stone, and that it requires human transmutation. He figures that out through a bunch of research. He figures out how to counter. He figures that out in the original Full Metal. I think he does in Brotherhood also. In Brotherhood, he also figures out how to counter the giant transmutation circle. He figures out a lot of stuff. He's a lot of deep-seated secrets, and he figures out how to counter them. Although I think Alphonse helped out a lot on some of those. But still, very smart guy. Next, from Black Lagoon, Rock. Now, a lot of people might be a little surprised to see him on there, but really, in the latest season, he actually really shows his intellect by, well, he manipulates the entire city of Roanapur to his own end. In the end, doesn't go quite how he wanted it. It kind of backfires a little bit in the end. Um, he was a little bit outsmarted there, but he pulled a lot off. It was pretty surprising how much he thought ahead and figured everything out. He's a very smart guy. Um, Now, number 4, Lelouch v. Britannia from Code Geass. Yeah. So, what can I say about him? Well, he freaking, well, the Empire, the Britannian Empire was conquering the entire world. They pretty well dominating, and all that was left, I mean, Japan was just kind of holding out, and he somehow managed to take this huge rebellion against this massive army and make it go exactly how he wanted to. He outsmarted everybody. I mean, the guy is insanely smart. So I had to put him at number 4 because of that. He's just outwitted everybody against great odds and all by himself. Now, granted, he did use the power of Geass for that. So that gave him a bit of an advantage, but still, he's a very smart guy and deserves a spot at number 4, if you ask me. Now, number 3, Shikaku Nara, Shikamaru's father. Very smart guy. Definitely smarter than his son. Shikamaru might pass him someday, but from everything I've seen so far, no. Shikaku's still the master, and Shikamaru's still the student. Granted, I'm only watching the anime, so things may have changed as far as the manga goes, and it may change in the future. But from what I've seen so far, Shikaku's, I mean, he organized the Great Shinobi War against the Akatsuki, and he figured out how to do it despite the odds. I mean, the Akatsuki had the advantage. They had thousands of Zetsu. They had reincarnations. They had all this stuff, and Shikaku figured out how to make use of his troops to the best advantage to really minimize his casualties and just really wipe out the enemy. He definitely deserves his spot at number 3. Now, number 2, from Death Note, L Lolliot, the great detective, who you really don't ever figure out his last name unless you read Rem's notebook. Now, he's smart. I mean, it was a battle of wits between Light and L, and yeah, L ended up losing, which is why I put him at number 2. But he's still just insanely smart. He was able to keep up with Light for the entire time, pretty much. He constantly suspected Light. He knew exactly what Light was up to. Every time Light made a move, he knew why and exactly what he was doing. He couldn't prove anything, but he knew exactly what Light was up to. He's just an insanely smart guy. Now, moving on to number 1, Light Yagami, as you may have guessed based on my last one. Yeah, he beat L, so he's got to be number 1. I mean, this guy's just ridiculously smart. He figured out how to... He was killing criminals without anybody knowing who he was. He gave away a lot of clues deliberately so that he could take down L eventually. And Light was controlling the game from the start. L was just, he was figuring out Light's game plan, but he didn't figure out all of it. I mean, he never figured out why Light was giving the information that he was. He never figured that much out as to why Light was revealing who he was a little bit. He took it as just simple overconfidence, which was part of it, but there was more to it. He's a genius by all regards. He figured out how to use the Death Note in such creative ways, just by bending the rules and testing them. The guy, he's just really smart. After he takes out L, he pretty much takes over the entire world. He's just ridiculously smart. I mean, he doesn't officially take over the world, but he's controlling it as Kira and just making nobody making everybody scared to commit crime so that nobody will do it. But anyways, that's been my list. If you disagree with anything, if you think anybody should be in a different spot, or anybody that's not on the list deserves to be on the list, please put it in the comments. If you like the video, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel. I always need more followers. So, anyways, I've been Mitch. I'll be seeing you.